set for one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Your referee, Nate Pierce. Introducing first, making his way to the ring, he hails from the Broken Mirror, representing the Dead Wrestling Society. This is War Child.
Other half of the Dead Wrestling Society, one half of the PWR Tag Team Champions, War Child, set to do battle against Jimi the Flying Hippie. Earlier tonight, we saw big-time Bill Collier come out victorious via disqualification over Crimson. All Jimi the Flying Hippie has to do is defeat War Child, and the homegrown heroes will gain a shot at the Dead Wrestling Society's Tag Team Championship.
You know, this is the big, built, and beefy member. This is another one of those brainwashed disciples of the Dead Wrestling Society. And he's got the muscle behind him, not just the mind power, but the muscle. Add those two things together, you have one of the most dangerous men I've ever seen in a PWR ring.
His opponent, making his way to the ring from the state of Euphoria, weighing in at 2,960 ounces, Jimi the Flying Hippie.
Hippie, the other half of the homegrown heroes.
And you know what, you'll see, Ted, you look at these tights, and we saw them early on, I didn't think about it. This is a new tight design. These are actual tights. Oh, I'm sorry. Never mind. Jimi the Flying Hippie with these tie-dye on, staying back with his roots. Earlier on tonight, you saw him in some new tights. Jimi, just his wardrobe exploded, I guess. I don't know. Here I was trying to prove a point, and it didn't work.
There's the bell, and as we described earlier, during the big-time Bill Collier and Crimson match, that was the big man of the homegrown heroes and the mastermind of the Dead Wrestling Society. Here we have the free spirit of the homegrown heroes versus the muscle of the Dead Wrestling Society.
I'll go out on a limb to say that the roles are reversed here. Jimi is the voice of reason within the homegrown heroes. On the other hand, War Child, like we said, he's the muscle. I feel like the roles are reversed right here in this matchup.
Senior official Nate Pierce removing that hood from War Child. This match underway. Drop kick from Jimi the Hippie. Shoulder in the corner. Oh, big clothesline from War Child.
Turns him inside out, that power, that muscle, that speed, add all those things together. This man is just, he's a thoroughbred. He's a thoroughbred of wrestling, of men, of the Dead Wrestling Society. He's like none other that I've ever seen before. Like none other.
War Child, quick slam. Jimi the Hippie fighting early. Warchild raking the eyes.
You know, Crimson has put all of his trust into Warchild to finish off Jimi the Hippie tonight. All it takes is one loss on the side of the Homegrown Heroes and these two singles encounters for them not to get a chance.
Hippie hung up in the tree of woe, courtesy of Warchild. Warchild pulling back on the hair. Nate Pierce giving him the count of 5. Warchild breaks the hold as Nate Pierce gets Jimi out of the corner. Hippie connecting that boot to the back of Warchild's head. Trying to rally support from the crowd here. Warchild back to the eyes. Jimi the Hippie shots to the midsection. Hippie up the ropes. Ducks a clothesline from Warchild. Goes for a cross body. Warchild catching him though. Warchild sending Hippie out of the ring.
You know, we've seen him rake the eyes and apply the chokes, but you know, Warchild is the kind of guy that he can pick Jimi up and throw him from one side of the ring to the other with ease. But you know what? That's exactly what you would expect he would do. That's exactly what you would expect Warchild to do. Warchild
choking Jimi the Hippie on that steel guardrail right in front of our fans here in Erie, PA. Jimi the Hippie, those right hooks, that headbutt, almost no sign of injury, no sign of damage on the face of Warchild.
You know, the Dead Wrestling Society, you never know what they're trying to accomplish.
Oh, Warchild carrying Jimi the Hippie around the ring like a toy, throwing his back into 2 of those 4 steel ring posts.
You know what? I take that back. If there's one thing Dead Wrestling Society wants to do, it's inflict punishment and pain. But perhaps Crimson has told Warchild, you know what? Give them another chance. We'll show them again.
Warchild resetting that count of 10, ducking into the ring and immediately going back out again.
He's obviously in no hurry to get back in the ring. He's in no hurry to get back to the action because he knows that he has Jimi where he wants him. He thinks he has Jimi where he wants him. But nor you or I know that.
Warchild quick charge. Hippie boot to the face of Warchild. Up on that first rope. Head scissors takedown courtesy of Hippie. Warchild stumbling. Comes back to that corner where Hippie moves. Hippie up on the second rope. Another head scissors takedown. Jimi the Hippie regaining a little momentum here. Charging clothesline to Warchild. Jimi the Hippie almost trying for a bulldog there. Warchild catching him, having none of it. Warchild trying for a pin attempt. 1, 2. Hippie kicking out at 2.
You know, I mean, Jimi the Flying Hippie, we've seen time and time again. The fighting spirit in Jimi the Flying Hippie it's like nothing I've ever seen before. Jimi can go and go and go.
Warchild whipping Hippie across the ring. Colliding with that turnbuckle. There's almost no give inside that turnbuckle, folks. Minus a little thin sheet of padding that is pure steel.
So is that giant post that he just ran into. That too is steel.
Jimi the Hippie looking to fly. Warchild moving. Hippie kick to the chest. Hippie trying for that head scissors on the outside. Warchild catching him, throwing him into the guardrail and into the apron.
I mean, he just pinballed him between that guardrail and the apron, like you said. I haven't seen that before. I can honestly say that I've not seen that before. You know, I'm just trying to figure out, when is Jimmy the Hippie finally going to reach his breaking point?
Nate Pierce reaching a count of 10. Warchild has been counted out.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is your winner. As a result of a count out, Jimmy the Flying Hippie.
Warchild counted out. Jimmy the Hippie, your victor here tonight. But here comes all members of the Dead Wrestling Society.
Oh, look at it, just headbutt after headbutt. This is disgusting. This is an attack.
Crimson laying in those shots, staying kicks to the midsection. Crimson calling for Warchild to pick up Hippie. Richard, we've seen this move time and time again, and it never ends good. Big Time is back. Bill Collier in the ring, clearing out the Dead Wrestling Society. Alongside him, the most huggable wrestler, Brian Castle.
He's not too huggable right now, Ted. He's quite upset, to say the least. Ted, this wasn't an attack. This wasn't out of frustration. This was a baited hook. And you know what? Bill Collier, Brian Castle, hook, line, and sinker, they took it. They're trying to send a message, and they did exactly that.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy the Hippie victorious over Warchild. That means the homegrown heroes of Jimmy the Flying Hippie and Big Time Bill Collier will get a PWR Tag Team title shot against the Dead Wrestling Society of Warchild and Crimson.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, the order put in by you was we needed to secure separate one-on-one victories in order to receive a shot at not the second string, but the first string tag team championship. Now, because they were too cowardly and got disqualified and counted out, 2 separate victories were secured. Make these people happy, or I make you suffer. I know I don't even have to ask you, but I'm going to. Do you want to see Bill Collier fight the Dead Wrestling Society? It's decided you two will have a championship opportunity. I can't wait
and gentlemen, it is official. The Homegrown Heroes will fight for the tag team titles that the Dead Wrestling Society carelessly hold.
You know, the question remains, Ted, can they finally, once and for all, outsmart the antics of the Dead Wrestling Society, where they fall victim once more to the cowardly ways and mystique wonders that are the Dead Wrestling Society members, Crimson and Warchild, your PWR Tag Team champs?